Another episode of Kevin and Mike on a Thursday talking NFL football, not a Sunday recap. We'll be back Sunday night for it. As always, two of us coming to you for BTO Media. And it's a great day. Mike woke up ecstatic this morning. Probably didn't even sleep last night, kicking his feet all night in bed. We've been doing this show for almost 3 years now. We've never done one positive Giants episode. And he gets to come on here today with his great smile and his great enthusiastic Giants thoughts now. And he's so excited for the season. He can see the Lombardi trophy, the fifth one being added to the trophy case at Giants practice facility, right next to beautiful MetLife Stadium, which the aura is just completely flipped at MetLife today. John Harbaugh is going to be your next football coach. We've had a feeling for the last few days. It felt like this when he got fired. I was with you the night he got fired, and it seemed like this was going to happen. This was the best spot. Giants lock it up. Whirlwind of a day for you yesterday. We've got a lot to unpack. After we talk about that, though, we'll do our predictions, talk a little bit about the rest of the coaching carousel throughout this episode. But, Mike, Harbaugh is your head coach, and I know you're pumped.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with the Harbaugh brothers for like a really long time. Like dream guys to have come coach your team, Jim or John. So this is sick. Like this is awesome. I've always been a fan of John Harbaugh, and it's just exactly what this franchise needed. You know, when we look at, where this team has been, where the franchise has been for the past, really since they fired Tom Coughlin. And we're not going to say made Tom Coughlin step down. Like, they fired Tom Coughlin.
Yep.
Like, this is what they've needed. This is the kind of coach. And I think he's a better kind of coach than Tom Coughlin was, as great as he is. I think this is like an upgrade over that. But not to compare the two.
I just make a little Tom Coughlin comment when we start? So irrelevant to everything we have to talk about today.
Yeah, go.
But I've been hearing so many people say a pitch to John Harbaugh is you win in New York, you're a god. You're a god. I don't think Tom Coughlin gets that respect. And I think Tom Coughlin was great. I'm not trying to sit here and rip him. But I don't think anyone nationally at least is. I think it's different in football. I think every team's so big market in the NFL that Coughlin, it's like, hey, you got 2 Super Bowls, didn't really do much else. And they're 2 great wins. But I feel like he doesn't get enough respect.
I think amongst Giant fans, he gets it. Like
he should get it in the rest of the league, though, is what I'm trying to say. He should get more than he does for those 2 Super Bowl wins. Either way, Harbaugh's a Giant. Great day. Congrats, Mike. Where do you want to start here? There's so many places you can start. The process, the Dart connection, Joe Shane. Where do you want to go with this?
I just want to say this about what it means for the team. And I know you're going to call me crazy, and I know others are going to call me crazy, but I think I said it last week that John Harbaugh signing with the Giants and becoming the next head coach, it is very similar to Mike Vrabel going to New England and taking that job. And it's similar to Sean Payton going to Denver and taking that job. It's these potential Hall of Fame coaches going to spots where the team hasn't been great. The Giants, they've been terrible for 10 years. And now the future is starting to look bright, and this is where you strike. This is where you go and get that culture changer, that leader to now take you out of the dumps with a team that has a bright future or somewhat of a bright future and get you where you have to go in the next 4, 5, 6 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I agree with you. I'm not going to call you crazy. I think this is Vrabel to the Patriots. I really do. And I feel the same way about Harbaugh as I do about Vrabel, or I did about Vrabel a year ago. I think even higher of Vrabel now. But this is a guy who, and these are the rips on Harbaugh. This is what people will tell you the Giants shouldn't have hired him because of these reasons. He's a floor raiser. I don't know if, and I said this about Vrabel last year, I don't know if Harbaugh is going to win another Super Bowl. I actually don't think he will. But that's easy to say right now before we actually see it happen. But he's a floor raiser. And the Giants, the Patriots last year, and a lot of other teams, the Titans are one of them, needed a floor raiser. They did. I'll talk about it a little bit today, but I did not think Atlanta should hire Harbaugh. He would not have been first for me for Atlanta. I would be going after Clint Kubiak hard because I think you need to find that actual guy in Atlanta with all the offensive talent they have. But for the Giants, for their owners, for their front office, you needed a floor raiser. You needed a guy that should get you into the playoffs year one. I think playoffs year one is not only realistic, but I'm not going to call it a mandate. You shouldn't get fired if you don't make it. But I don't see much of an excuse for the Giants to miss the playoffs next year.
Yeah, I think at the very least, week 17 and 18, you better be competing for a spot, depending on the way the draft goes and free agency goes, who they let walk, who they keep, exactly what he wants to do with this offseason. We'll see. But I would agree. Like, you have to be competing late in the year next year. Like, there's no doubt.
And this is how Patriots fans felt a year ago. They were saying, we just won 3 games. We've been the worst team in the league for the last few years. Assuming our offseason goes a little bit as to what we expect, where they upgrade the roster, we should be in the playoffs next year. And Patriots fans came in with that schedule. They understood it. We make fun of them, but they understood we have a very easy schedule here. We might not have the best roster, but we have a coach now that should be able to win us the games we should win. Giants fans should be feeling the same way. You shouldn't be losing games now to a bad Washington team or a bad Dallas team that usually would walk over you if they were not even far off in the standings. Like, there's been years where the Giants and Cowboys and Commanders aren't far off and they can't win a division game. This changes everything.
I was thinking about it when I woke up this morning that, like, they were watchable with Dart even late in the year. Like, they were sort of watchable. Like, you got to watch them. You have the young quarterback, this and that, when he was healthy. Like, now, like my Sundays, once again, for the first time in years, revolve around when the Giants play.
Yeah.
That hasn't been the case in a very long time. Rightfully so, by the way. They gave you no reason to watch. But now, like, the extra TV's got to come out, right? You got to put the Giant game on that TV and Red Zone on the other, or Sunday Ticket on the other. Like, this is what this move does.
And I've seen a lot of Giants fans this morning and just people in general saying, what if it doesn't work out? Which is always a possibility. I don't even want to go there today, but it's always a possibility. And I would just counter with this. It might not have worked out with Stefanski. It might not have worked out with Kubiak. It might not have worked out with McCarthy. Who but John Harbaugh for this job? This was the spot, and he knew it before he started interviewing. He knew, I'm going to the Giants. Everybody involved knew that this was the marriage that had to happen.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's give credit out, right, to the people that really deserve the credit for this. And that's obviously the people that I've been as critical of John Mara as any human being alive, in public, in person, okay, behind closed doors. The fact that this man who's battling cancer was able to get this done, along with the help of his brother and, of course, Steve Tisch and Joe Shane. Like, this is ultra impressive. They didn't fire Joe Shane when multiple people wanted them to. Everybody wanted them to. And Joe Shane ends up being one of the reasons why John Harbaugh is here today. Like, I think you got to give John Mara and Steve Tisch all the credit in the world for the job they've done. For the first time in a while, they get a pat on the back, and a big one for bringing John Harbaugh here.
Mara's 71 years old right now. We know he's sick, but even if he beats cancer, and hopefully he does, he's probably going to be 80, 81 when Harbaugh's done. I think you get a 10-year run here with Harbaugh. I really do. It's a 5-year contract to start, but he's 63. Pete Carroll was just coaching at 73. Hopefully it looks a little better for Harbaugh when he's still doing it. But I think this is Mara's last coaching hire, no matter what, as the owner, whether he lives, dies, beats cancer, which, again, hopefully he does. This is probably his last search, because it does feel like there's a little bit of a power shift going on in Giants ownership right now, and Chris Mara might be taking the torch for a little bit on the real day-to-day stuff. So for John Mara, who's, I believe him when he says, no, this doesn't bother me, or nobody's more bothered or more disappointed than me after these long seasons. I always believed him with that. I think he cares a lot about the Giants. Sometimes you just don't get it right. And he got it right this time. And that's a great parting gift to leave if that's the end of your ownership tenure. 2 Super Bowls, and let's leave you with John Harbaugh here as I ride into the sunset and hopefully just retire with good health.
He's done a terrible job.
He's done an awful job.
When you talk about hiring the wrong people, this guy is at the top of the list with Woody Johnson. Okay, it's that
they've
bad.
been the 2 worst owners. They've been the 2 worst owners by far. Mara's in the group of Woody Johnson, Mark Davis, the Haslams in Cleveland. He's in that group.
But I really believe this. Like you said, like, his whole life is Giants football. Like, he does nothing else but Giants football.
Yep.
So he does actually care a lot, and that in my mind, has never changed. He just hasn't done a good job. Like,
Yeah.
you can care about something, but suck at it. He's done that.
I think also on this really important part of this whole thing, the Dart element, which we got to talk about.
Yeah.
It was an up and down first year with Dart. I think that there were moments we were very transparent on how we felt every week about him. I don't think you held back at all about his performances. You were very honest about what we were seeing. And there was the beginning with Dable where you were saying we got our guy, and everyone should have been saying that if you were watching him. Then there was the post-Dable stretch where it was like, this is not looking great right now. The Minnesota game was the low point. Then he finishes strong with those last two games. And I think we're all sitting here after the season, at least feeling good about, okay, this is a guy that should get his 4-year rookie contract. We might have something here. The idea that John Harbaugh would take the job that Jackson Dart is the quarterback of now gives me all of the confidence that Jackson Dart's a franchise quarterback.
I would agree. I read the other day that John Harbaugh was very impressed with Jackson Dart in college, really liked him, was a fan of his at Ole Miss into that draft. Obviously, John Harbaugh had a quarterback, but we know how these coaches and GMs work. They look at every position, no matter what they have. And when they were scouting Jackson Dart, they liked him in Baltimore. So I think this absolutely was one of the driving forces, not only just being the New York Giants. If you were the New York Giants with everything else but no Jackson Dart, you don't get John Harbaugh. But they have a guy that he believes they could build around, and that was one of the driving forces, which was a team with a quarterback.
And I texted you this last night, but how about the process of getting Jackson Dart? The years of, we didn't get the first pick. People upset that they didn't get the first pick last year. They got the first pick last year. They probably take Cam Ward, right? So you don't get Jackson Dart. And I have another point on that in a minute, but you end up getting this guy with the 25th pick. This is just my own agenda here. Tanking is stupid. Oftentimes, the franchise quarterbacks don't even come in the top 3, 4, 5 picks. A lot of times they come in the Mahomes fashion where a good team traded up to get somebody, or they fall to the end of the first round and somebody makes a move back in to get someone. You just don't know with these guys. So rooting for the tank on the quarterbacks is tough. It lends itself to this year. Guys like Ty Simpson, guys like Carson Beck, Trinidad Chambliss, you don't know whether or not they're home runs, whether or not they're busts. You have no idea. But I want to ask you this question. When we talk Giants versus Falcons versus Titans and the rest of this coaching carousel, if Cam Ward and Jackson Dart had switched places here, do you think he still takes the Giants job, or do you think he takes the Titans job?
I think he probably still takes the Giants job.
I think so too.
Because like I like Ward. You know, I think he showed a lot from the middle to the end. Just nothing there. You know, if he had the offensive coach, if he had some of the weapons that Dart had early, I think you would have saw something from Cam Ward that would have gave you a lot of confidence, and I still think there is. So I think, I think he would take the Giant job still. I want to say this too, which I think probably helped Joe Schoen out. Remember, it was Joe Schoen's second draft, right? Third draft, excuse me. Joe Schoen really liked Rome Odunze. And Brian Dable said, no, it's Malik. It's Malik Neighbors. That was the whole thing. Joe loved Rome. And they took Malik. They listened to the coach. Next year, the coach had an obsession with Jackson Dart. Loved Dart. Told Shane this is the guy. And Shane and others liked Shedeur Sanders. And who did they end up trading up for in the first round and taking? They took Jackson Dart. So I think Joe Schoen's ability to listen to his coach and trust the people around him that have conviction on certain players, I think that absolutely helped Joe Schoen in recruitment with John Harbaugh, because he's going to listen. He's willing to listen to other people.
How about Dable calling him up and not only endorsing Dart, but endorsing the Giants? That is something I have never seen before.
Is that not a little weird?
I get it if you because he obviously was obsessed with Dart to a way that at points like we made fun of it, how weird it was. And that's fine, but in all seriousness, he clearly cares about Dart's career. So I get him calling about Dart. I would not call about the Giants. I would not endorse the Giants if I were him. I don't know his experiences, but I would feel like I got screwed out of coaching my quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think I would have called about the Giants, but Dart, if he had something to say about Dart, I'd have nothing but good things to say, and I would let him know.
And on the Joe Shane conversation, I'm not ready to celebrate him yet and give him this pass yet and assume
Nah, I
that
think I
a
am.
year from now, Harbaugh is not going to say, I'm getting my own GM in here. This is not working out. I don't think that's going to happen, but I can't take the lap on Joe Shane yet until this team hits the field. But with Harbaugh, this is what just happened in New England. When Vrabel got there, Elliott Wolf went from way in over his head as the general manager and not able to do it, and an awful first draft to, oh, wow, almost every guy they drafted plays a role. And you are going to have situations where a guy like Marcus Mbow or, Tyler Nubin, Drew Phillips, they start to play some really good football because the coaches understand how to put them in situations to succeed. So the general manager is very important, obviously, but the coach plays a huge role in whether these picks are hits or busts, no matter what the pick is. Like, these kids are all talented. Some of them don't have the mind for the NFL, but for the most part, they're all talented. John Harbaugh will put them in situations that the previous coaches did not, and it'll bring them some success.
And a lot of the money that has been spent in free agency and a lot of the draft picks in the second and third round have been spent on the defense. And they've had some of the worst defensive coaching in the league for the last 2 years. And we've seen that go to crap. So the fact that John Harbaugh is here, the fact that he's going to hire an experienced, good, solid defensive coordinator, and he's going to hire good defensive positional coaches, it changes everything for a defense that has high draft picks, that has talent on it, that you just didn't really see much of consistently the last 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see how they go into free agency, because they're going to have to make some decisions. Like, I think Okereke gets cut on this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're going to have to really move some money off the books, free up some space. But for them in free agency now, there's no real selling point. Like, you don't have to do the whole, this is where we're going, we're really building something here. Think about the other side of town right now, the Jets with Glenn. And this is where the Giants have been for a lot of their tenure. Sure, Glenn's going to have his guys that like him. Say Alex Anzalone from Detroit, who's a free agent. You still have to sell him on everything you're building. And you watch what happened last year, it feels like you're not building anything. John Harbaugh is going to come in right away with the credibility, the respect, and the admiration to be able to say, I want you here, let's make this happen. And you don't have to do much of a selling point. You don't have to overpay. Guys are going to want to come play for him. The Giants haven't had that in free agency in a very long time.
Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
ever. Like, that is.
I don't know, because I don't know if Coughlin even had that.
I don't think
he wasn't a renowned players coach. Harbaugh is loved by the guys that he coaches.
He wasn't like this. You'll say players coach and just viewed as this elite coach around the league. That's 2 shots at Tom Coughlin today. What the hell?
No, first one I was trying to praise him, but it sounded like a shot.
Well, I did. I think I took a shot at him a little bit. But either way, I was like, Harbaugh's better. But he is. He is better. And this is great. This is great. There's a picture circulating of them at dinner last night. Imagine being in that restaurant.
Good thing you weren't there.
Good thing I wasn't there is right.
Then the deal would not have happened.
Deal would have not happened. I would have been on my knees begging, please come here. Please come here.
There's a lot of people, especially Ravens fans, who are trying to squash it today, who are trying to say, like, you don't know what you're in for. I think one element of this Harbaugh hiring that I need to see is a little bit of evolution from a 63-year-old coach who's been doing it for almost 2 decades and who's won a Super Bowl and who's great anyways. I mean, the floor for John Harbaugh is worst season's an 8-win season. So I don't need to see crazy evolution, but I need to see a little bit more. I feel like these younger coaches are passing him by big time. And Mike Tomlin was in the same boat. And few guys have been able to adapt like Sean Payton and Andy Reid, largely because they're the play callers and it's easier to actually have that hands-on impact. But I need to see Harbaugh get a little more modern with the game, because I agree with the video I made yesterday still. While I think the Giants made a home run hire and should be universally celebrated among their fan base and among the NFL. I think he has a lot of work to do on himself to get back into that Super Bowl winning conversation. He didn't get to one with a 3-time MVP player at quarterback. So
I also think the full, like, what he has to do to make this a win for the Giants is not as much as we think, right? Like,
no, because I think once you get there and you're in year 2 or 3 and you're having terrible first round exits, it changes quick.
That, yes, 100%. But like right now, let's look at the first 3 years. Like, I'd like to win the division title in the next 3 years or the next 2 years, right? But it's just been so bad that, and I agree, it could change if you're in the postseason and you continue to lose. But as of right now, there's really not much this guy could do by just getting to the postseason where I won't be, excited. I'm going to be excited.
Well, the important thing to what I said is once you get there, it might start to get stale. And again, who knows what actually happens? He's going to come in here with a chip on his shoulder. He might evolve coaching. He might have some self-reflection this offseason and say, you know what? I could have done these things better in Baltimore the last few years. We're going to take that into the program in New York now and build on it. But I think it's also important for us to remember people who are saying what I'm saying. You have to also get there first. You could be upset once you're there, but the Giants have not been there. So you have to get there first, and then we'll see how Harbaugh is in New York. But it could be a huge change for him. I was looking today. I'm pretty positive a Super Bowl winning head coach has never won a Super Bowl with a second franchise.
Never.
But he's got about 9 or 10 years, I think, of good coaching health and age to really give it a good crack in the NFC. Like, I don't think that – I think the AFC is way harder to win a Super Bowl. And I think looking at that division, it's not brutal. I mean, Philadelphia is a problem for you trying to win a division, but it's not brutal with Dallas and Washington.
No, they can compete for it in the next year or two.
They can. They can compete for it next year. I mean, Philadelphia is the weakest of the annual division winners, I think.
By the way, can I say something?
Yeah.
Completely unrelated.
Go for it.
That job is like being coveted by people. That OC job.
Yeah.
I think it's a freaking mess right now.
I don't think so at all. I think that you and say it right to your face here, I love you. I think you and so many other people are so dead wrong about Hurts and Sirianni. It's embarrassing.
No, I'm not even saying with Hurts. Like, fine, take Hurts out of it. You don't know what's going to happen with A.J. Brown. The offensive line's banged up and old. Devonta Smith is not worth $20 million a year, whatever.
No, but I trust that Howie Roseman is going to do a good enough job giving me pieces to call plays for.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not very worried about my offense in Philadelphia. I wouldn't be.
Come take the Giant OC job. It's gonna be Monken,
no,
right?
Monken, it's done. Yeah, the staff. I think I said it 3 days ago, and I said it before I saw anybody say it. I think it's Monken and Weaver.
Yeah, you texted me that yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, I'd really like that." I've been texting that to my friends. Weaver, at least, because Monken feels obvious. I mean,
Monken feels obvious, and once you heard he left. Basically, the reason it didn't work out in Baltimore is he wouldn't fire Monken. There's no way he wasn't taking him to the next place.
Which I'm perfectly fine with Monken.
Does he have to do Rooney interviews?
Yes.
He does, right? So you can't just, which is so dumb. I mean, I get the positives of it, right? Obviously, especially for head coaching jobs.
Yeah.
But why would, who's coming in to interview for him if everybody knows he's taking Monken?
Right.
And he should just be able to say, I'm hiring Todd Monken. I was just with him for the last 4 years. I love the guy. He's my guy. I mean, none of these guys, it's just fair to the candidates. None of them are going to get a job.
And the DC is going to be, I saw Zach Orr, I think I'm saying the name right, Orr.
Yeah. Do you think Bullen has any chance?
He just got a request from, I think he interviewed with the Cowboys.
He interviewed with the Cowboys. He did a good job the last 4 weeks.
He did. For somebody that was a first-time defensive coordinator at the time, he did do a good job. I don't think so, though. I would rather Harbaugh just bring in his own guy anyway. So
I think Weaver's very good, too. So
I like Weaver. I really do.
And I think he's got a great – it seemed like they had in Miami a good cop, bad cop thing for what it was worth. I mean, it didn't work out, obviously, but where McDaniel was able to be the players coach, and he had a real level of accountability to him that I think Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau and a lot of that defense, Deontay Banks, I think those guys really need.
Yeah. What do you think happens now with a Banks? Do you think he this is a first round talent, and everybody, including myself, would tell you he's done. But you bring in a coach like Harbaugh, you bring in a Weaver. Do things change for Banks, or is he still a bust? Because I still think he's going to be a bust.
I think he's a bust, but they don't have a great cap situation this year.
For this year, yes.
So you're not in a situation, I think, where you can totally overhaul it with, I see everybody saying Linderbaum. I'd be shocked if they signed Linderbaum. $20 million plus a year center. I think that has Jim Harbaugh written all over it with the Chargers. They have the money to do it, and they need it bad. But I just don't know. Banks, he shows at the end of the year he has special teams upside on return. He showed in his rookie year he's got some defensive upside. Played in Wink system, which if they bring in Anthony Weaver is going to be very similar. And Weaver coached under Wink in Baltimore. And I think that you could probably get him in and just be like, hey, man, in your head, you're saying we need a fourth corner. I got to keep this guy around. He's got special teams upside. And I'm just saying to him, this is your chance. We're going to give you a shot here. And we know you're talented, but we do not mind cutting you right away if you don't show us that you can handle this. I mean, if you could be a good kick returner and third or fourth corner for us this year, show us that. And we'd love to have you and show me that all summer in camp. But if you don't do that, we will find somebody else.
Got Holland and Newman as the safeties. You think Downs has any chance at 5?
No, I think they're going to need a lineman.
All right. So, you're going to let Illuminar walk. You're not going to bring in Illuminar.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Well, the one thing they can do and manipulate the cap, which, so many other teams do so well, is there's 20 something million right now in 26 for this offseason.
Yeah.
Before the cap goes up. And next year it's over 100. There's no real massive commitments into next year. Now, obviously you're going to have to pay neighbors at some point, but we're not there just yet. You could make deals where, it's a big signing bonus and it's not much in the first, but the second and third, it's a lot. If they really wanted Linderbaum, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I think that the draft pick, though, I would take the tackle because Harbaugh is in a position mentally in the draft where he's never picked higher than 14 in Baltimore when they picked Kyle Hamilton. So he has a chance at 5 to get the best offensive lineman in the draft to pair with his 22, 23-year-old quarterback and his 23-year-old wide receiver. I mean, it's just get all the young talent on offense that you can and let him and his staff try to solidify the defense through free agency pickups. You're going to get guys from Baltimore or that played for him 2 or 3 years ago in Baltimore that are going to come in. Harold Landry went to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Just guys like that who are going to come in on deals that you'll say, oh, wow, that's pretty cheap for a quality starter. And that's just going to make the whole defense so much better.
I'm pumped. I need this to start now. I need this to start right now.
Right now. Right now, you got to look forward to the press conference. And then after that, there's nothing for
free agency and then the draft.
Yeah.
See the videos of him in the draft room.
Don't you just want week 1 with him on the sideline in the Giants gear?
I can't wait to see it. I can't believe he's the head coach.
Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. You did it. You did it.
We did it. I mean,
no,
you told me a while ago. You told me the night that we were at the Islander game that it was
it's a week now, right?
He's a giant.
9 days ago. The day you got fired.
You were like, he's a giant. And I was like, hey, he is a giant.
He's a giant. And you went to bed that night giddy. I just know it.
I did.
But you were like, I don't want to get too excited, but he's a giant.
The Dolphins then fired McDaniel.
I usually don't put too much stock into Craig Carton's sources, but he said that 3 days ago, he said the problem with Harbaugh to Miami is Jim Harbaugh and Stephen Ross hate each other. And I feel like I could believe it if he wasn't even slated to get an interview.
I saw that. Yeah.
Why I can believe that. I don't know. two big ego guys.
Apparently,
at
he was going to
Michigan.
offer him a massive contract to come back and coach, though, right before they hired McDaniel. That was the whole rumor.
Yeah.
But then Harbaugh had to stay one more year because he was dealing with it was like the beginning of the Spygate, whatever you want to call it, and then the sign stealing, and then he left after that when they won.
Yeah. Jim.
That's
Good
my
day for
guy.
you.
That's my guy, too. Happy the family business is residing partially in New York now.
How do you think the rest of this coaching carousel plays out?
So you're going to say, oh, you're just saying this because you didn't want Harbaugh in Atlanta. I always thought Kubiak was a perfect fit for Atlanta.
I agree.
I always thought that. So I think he ends up in Atlanta. I think the Titans are going to end up hiring McCarthy. I hope McCarthy gets hired as well.
Where does Stefanski fall into this whole thing? Because I can see Atlanta going after him too if they want the experienced coach.
I've seen Baltimore. I don't believe that, though.
Yeah.
I think Stefanski could be one of those guys that benefits from taking an OC job, a high-level OC job, and coming back next year. And, I think if there's any questions about whether or not he could call plays still, go call plays for Detroit, go call plays for Philly, come back and be one of the top guys on the market next year.
Yeah. Jets. You come coach the Jets, you
right.
win a year.
Come coach the Jets and Julian saying that'd be sick.
That'll be huge for him. But I think with Atlanta, like how much does not having a quarterback play a role? And then I think with Baltimore and Pittsburgh, Baltimore especially, everybody thinks Minter is going to go there, but he's just a Harbaugh disciple. So are you going to try to go away from that tree, or do you like it and you just needed a new face?
You want the younger version of Harbaugh, essentially. Yeah. I'll go to Kubiak first. I think Kubiak has so much faith in himself where, if he says, all right, well, I don't want Penix and I don't want Kirk. I'm going to go trade for a Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I'm going to go bring in a Malik Willis. I think he believes that he could get the best out of those guys for a year or two before he finds his future guy. And with that talent, I think he absolutely could. So I'll say that about Kubiak. I think that doesn't play a role. I think it would play more of a role for Stefanski. If I was Stefanski, do I want to go there and say, I got to go find my quarterback again? I really didn't find one that was legitimate for more than 5 years in Cleveland. And now I got to do this again?
Yeah. If I was Stefanski, the only 4 jobs I'd take are Raiders, Titans, Steelers, Ravens. I would not take any of the other jobs.
Yeah.
Because of that exact reason. I don't think I can sit there and actually say my second opportunity, which is usually your last in the NFL, is going to go to a team with Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins right now and no first-round draft pick. I can't deal with that uncertainty.
Giants,
Kubiak, you can.
Giants would have made a ton of sense for him.
Yeah, and he definitely, I think, wanted that job. Jersey guy.
Yeah.
I think he would have wanted it. Tough. Harbaugh's better than you, so tough.
I've seen the Shula and then the passing game coordinator.
Steel Chase or whatever. Steel Chase.
We said it the other day, and now I forgot how to say it.
I've
seen Steeler fans get really pumped up about that pairing, about that being the head coach OC pairing.
Well, what's interesting is they hired the only times the Rooneys have ever hired coaches, 3 guys. Chuck Noll, which is insane, but in the Super Bowl era, the only times they've hired guys is Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. 3 early 30s defensive coaches. And you wonder if they go back to the well with that with Shula, or do they say the game is different than it was the last time we hired a coach? We have to get the young offensive mind here. And I also saw with Cleveland that their writers think they're really hot for the Jaguars OC. He's 30 years old. And I think it's a really smart strategy for teams like the Browns, teams like the Jets, if their job open, teams like the Titans even. But right now with Ward, you don't want to mess up too much. To go after a guy like the Rams quarterback coach or the Jaguars OC, pair him with Jim Schwartz, say, we got the defensive side of the ball covered. Show us you can call plays. Can we find something magical here with like a McVay type of mold, really young guy who's coached under a few great offensive minds, and go for that and maybe find your guy for the next few decades. That's a good goal for a team with a job opening that bad.
It is. Does it worry you that the quarterback situation is a mess there, though?
It's as
Especially
bad as it gets.
him? Like, you're going into a situation where you don't have a quarterback this year, and you're probably going to have to find one. You'll probably get one in the draft next year, no doubt. But it's only 1 year. I would like it. I would like to see that kid get a job. I think it would be fascinating if he does. How about this, just very quickly?
Yeah.
And I don't think he's leaving. I think he's going to get the extension. Connor said in a conversation that he had with Chris Mara, he said, I told him if the Packers fire Matt LaFleur, you guys are cooked on Harbaugh. His response, I wouldn't bet on that if I were you.
Wow. I'm reading this right now.
They were confident. And LaFleur, by the way, like, firing him is just a massive mistake. It's just it would be a massive mistake.
And I also think that one of the reasons they might not have been cooked on that is I don't think the Packers would have fired him for Harbaugh.
No.
I just don't.
I didn't see a massive upgrade there.
No, me either. I think it's the slightest downgrade or sidestep.
It's not worth firing that coach for that caliber of coach.
But they have not extended him yet, Matt LaFleur. It's been almost 96 hours now since they said they want to work towards an extension, and it hasn't happened yet.
Well, just think about it. You got to get all those shareholders in a room now, and you got to vote on it. It's a bleep
It's
show.
a lot. I think he'll end up staying, and I think they're just working through a lot of stuff. I think he wants to see what happens with Hafley, and I think they want to see what happens with Hafley first, and that plays a role. But Mike Tomlin, I read something about Mike Tomlin this week that a guy like Matt LaFleur might fall under the category of. I don't know, though. But Mike Tomlin, one of the reasons he apparently stepped down was because he could not enjoy living in Pittsburgh anymore because everybody wanted him fired. Everybody recognized him. Everybody wanted him fired. And he says, I do a great job here. I do the best job I can do here. We've never had a losing season. We've won a Super Bowl. I have no quarterbacks to work with. I'm out. Like, I'm not appreciated here at all. And I'm tired of hearing it everywhere I go, every time I turn on the radio, every time I turn on the TV, that Mike Tomlin should get fired. And then I see this video of him on vacation already, talking on the phone. He meets this Steelers fan out. The guy's like, I think his mom was sick, and she's a huge Steelers fan, and she loves Mike Tomlin. So Mike Tomlin says, call her. I want to talk to her. Talks to her for like 10 minutes on the phone. They're laughing. They're smiling. All evidence tracks to Mike Tomlin being a really good guy and loving the Steelers. And he had to hear this crap for the last decade about how he should get fired. That sucks. And Matt LaFleur kind of has the same problem in Green Bay.
He might start to have the same problem as Green Bay. That's a great story. I got to look up that video. I love that. Tomlin did everything he possibly could for that organization. And while I had said I think it was time for both sides, like I think both sides needed a change, more so Mike than Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he's gone. Like, I'm happy that he stepped down. I'm not happy that he feels that way because he shouldn't. And the Steelers, I mean, I don't think Art Rooney, the grandson, is BSing here when he says, I was getting ready for next year with Mike. Like, no, I think he would have taken
I would have been
Mike
too.
Tomlin back.
And I agree with what you're saying right now, too. But I would have been getting ready for next year with Mike Tomlin. Because, again, who's the upgrade? Is Sean McVay available? Did I miss something? Where I should, even the Ravens. Like, what'd you think of Bisciotti's press conference the other day?
Everybody loved him. I think he's a douche. He just looks like a douche.
He clearly is. And I kind of agree with Pat McAfee in a way, too. Like, got to get this guy behind a mic more. Why are we not getting these sound bites all the time? That's another element of it. But he put a lot of pressure on Eric DeCosta in that. But I would not have fired John Harbaugh.
His response to if Tyler Luke made the kick, would John Harbaugh still be the coach of this team? And he goes, 1 week. Like, yeah.
And
literally thank you.
I don't know how much more of it you heard, but he had an answer where they asked about DeCosta's role, and he said, I know that he knows he has to do a better job putting this roster together because he's a big reason why we had to show our good friend the door.
Yeah.
And so that's putting pressure on the GM there to start getting this right because they haven't added great talent to that roster in a while.
I also didn't like his response to the Lamar question.
What was that?
he had said, how much power, how much say does Lamar have in the next head coach? And he had said, well, me and Eric have allowed Lamar to be in the meetings and ask questions if he'd like, but he could say whatever he wants. Lamar has absolutely no power whatsoever in terms of who's going to be the next coach. He goes, I have the power.
Yeah. And I mean, he's a good owner, right? Because
yeah,
you don't have the run that their franchise has had in its entirety without a good owner. But definitely, for their sake, you might not want to put a mic in front of them anymore.
No.
You want to do a division round here?
Yeah, let's do a little division round. I'm pumped.
Let's go to the division round. It's going to be a great weekend. I love the games on Saturday. I like the games on Sunday, but it's the last true weekend of football, I feel like, in the NFL, because next weekend you get the 2 games, then you get the Super Bowl is kind of a dud 2 weeks after. It's 1 game, standalone, a lot of commercials. This is the last true weekend for football lovers to really dive in. You get the national championship on Monday and watch all these games. We can start with this Buffalo Broncos game.
Me and you disagree on the conference championship Sunday.
I like it, but I don't like it more than this weekend.
Favorite Sunday of the year. That is easily my favorite.
I like this weekend more.
Okay,
but to each their own. It's still conference championship Sunday is still a great day, and the games are usually good.
Yeah, it's my favorite Sunday.
But I like having a few games to really get into. To
enjoy. Greedy.
I'm very greedy.
Greedy. You want the most you can get.
When you watch the Jets all year, you want some good games at the end.
Yeah,
as many as you can get.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, Bills, Broncos. What are you thinking for this game?
Yeah, excuse me there. Shavers out. Gabe Davis out. I mean, what are we working with here? Who's catching the football? Have they called Odell yet to come catch footballs tomorrow night? I want to take Buffalo so badly in the game. I'll be rooting for Buffalo, but I have no choice. I have to take Denver at home with this defense. Sean Payton's comments, the podium. I mean, I want Sean Payton to lose. I want him to lose.
Yeah, he's not easy to root for.
And I want to root for Allen, but I can't do it. I can't pick them. I'll take Denver by a field goal. I think it's a close game, a heartbreaker for Allen.
Do you think Sean Payton's losing to Sean McDermott 2 years in a row? Now with home field, now coming off the bye. I think there's no chance. And I think it's just going to be tough for Allen to go play Superman and for James Cook to carry this offense in this high altitude against this defense. I think Denver wins. I'm very confident in it, which means probably Bills going to the championship game, but I'm all in on the Broncos this weekend.
Yeah.
Bo Nix, huge game for Bo Nix. Last year's playoff game, you can write it off. Rookie year, they were not even near the Bills level. Now you're better. You have a better team.
Have you seen this like David and Goliath crap on Twitter?
Yeah, come on.
Like the Bronco fans calling.
Everyone's like pretty sure David wasn't the 1 seed.
Yeah, like you're the 1 seed of the AFC. Like, come on, bro.
1.5 favorite at home in this game. The toughest place to play on the road. I think this weekend too, we get the 2 toughest road environments in Seattle and Denver, both on Saturday, which is going to be fun. I'm pumped for these games.
And Chicago and New England's not easy either.
No, they're not. But you get 4 outdoor games. Gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
No indoor BS. We're not about that.
No indoor games, 4 outdoor games this weekend. And do we even have an opportunity for an indoor game on conference championship weekend? If Houston hosts Buffalo.
Yeah, which could happen because we'll get to that.
And if the Rams host the 49ers, which could happen. That's double dome game. We cannot have that.
Can't have it. We'll make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, we will make sure it doesn't happen.
All
right. Next game here is that Saturday night Niners Seahawks rematch, 3rd time this year, and it's in Seattle. Touchdown favorite, the Seahawks. Little bit of a rich line, I think, in that game, but I do like Seattle to win comfortably.
Not shocking, especially after what happened with in that game in San Francisco, Week 18. Yeah. I think Seattle runs away with this game. The only way you win, right, is if Darnold has that throw-up game and he turns the ball over a million times. With the injuries that San Francisco has, Kittle not being there, I can't give them any chance in this one.
And I think that, well, first of all, Purdy's never lost in Seattle, right?
Yeah, I love Purdy so much. I want to pick him so badly. I love him. I got a weird thing with Purdy. Me and Purds. It's my guy.
It's your guy. Better than Hurts.
He is better than Hurts. 110% better than Hurts.
That's your guy. Yeah, I got to go Seattle here. But the Darnold throw-up game's possible.
It is. And that's how you win. And then Purdy takes advantage.
And Shanahan is possible, too. That Shanahan just happens. But they can't run the ball at all. And without Kittle, I mean, tough to move the ball. Really tough.
What that defense was able to do to them in San Francisco,
yeah.
Not only could you they couldn't run the ball against Philly. You can't run the ball against this team, and now you're going on the road.
Yeah, and 49ers have really limped into here, so I think Seattle's a pretty easy pick. The Sunday games, Texans, Patriots, 3-point favorites at home, New England. Where do you go here?
Houston wins by 10. I love Houston here. I love Houston here. I think that this defense, it's unbelievable what this defense is able to do. I think if you're Drake May, you're sitting here shaking in your boots having to play this team, like legitimately shaking in your boots having to step on the field against this defense. I think it's like a 20-10, 17-10 game, and it is ugly on the offensive side of the football for the Patriots. I will take the Texans.
Yeah, I'm going to take New England here at home. I don't feel great about it. I could see your scenario happening. No Nico Collins is a real tipping point for me in this game, but I think New England wins by 2 or 3 points. I don't like Stroud going to New England and trying to put up points against the defense that the Chargers said they don't know what coverage they're in, and Dan Orlovsky's saying, I watched the film 80 times. I have no idea what coverage the Patriots were playing. Just feels like an ugly game. Feels like a really muddy one. Like, I think this is a New England 12-9, 13-9 win.
Oh, like really disgusting.
Like really gross field goal fest in New England. Because the Texans defense, I was reading some stats last night. The only two 21st century defenses comparable to the Texans in like every metric you want to use all put together is the Ravens' first Super Bowl win with prime Ray Lewis and that whole crew, which is the best defenses ever, and Legion of Boom. Only two defenses that can compete with Houston of this century. They're both better, but not by much. So I don't think May and the Patriots are going to put up many points here, but I don't think Stroud's going to be able to on the other side of it.
I don't like that Nico's not playing, and I do find some comfort in the fact that they were able to run the football effectively against Pittsburgh there. Woody went over 100 rush yards, and even Chubb had a little bit of a nice night. So I don't know. I think they'll do enough offensively. This is going to be one with the defense, and even if it takes the defensive score again, that's how great I feel about this team. I think I've ever been more confident in a defense in my life than the Houston Texans.
Yeah, it's great. It's out of all the defenses playing this weekend, far and away the best.
Yeah.
And Seattle and Denver both play. Far and away the best. Is Christian Gonzalez playing in this game?
I think I think so.
Concussion protocol week, so you'd imagine playoffs he's going to clear.
I thought I'd seen something saying he was.
I should check before we did this, but I do think he's going to play.
They took John Harbaugh to Elia Mediterranean.
Is Christian Gonzalez going to play? They took John Harbaugh last night to this restaurant.
Elia Mediterranean. I'm shocked they didn't go Italian in Jersey there. That may not be a great call. That could have screwed things up unless he asked for Mediterranean.
All right, so Gonzalez probably. Also, first of all, I have a feeling Gonzalez probably playing. Let's get that out of the way. Okay. I have a feeling that Steve Tisch and Chris Mara have a way better understanding of five-star restaurants than either of us do.
You think it was a 5-star restaurant?
What do you think they took him to? Like the local pub? Talk through the
great.
deal?
That's great. That's great.
That's how you get me if you want to hire me.
Give me a nice tall glass of Bud Light and a burger. I'm good.
I don't even need the money. Where do I sign? All right. We have last game, Rams, Bears. Mike, it's the lock of the week. It's the lock of the week. It's the Bears. So easily, it's the Bears at home. But first, I will say one thing that's scaring me is Sean McVay clearly hates Ben Johnson. I don't know if you've picked this one up throughout the week. Press conference comments. Ben Johnson is hated by Matt LaFleur, by Sean McVay. Kyle Shanahan probably hates him too. New young guy coming to threaten that spot for a great young offensive guru, and McVay might give him a wake-up call, but I think the Bears are going to win. I cannot see the Rams, who, again, I feel like have limped in here. Cannot see the Rams coming out and winning, but Puka Nacua is inevitable. He could have a big game, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm rooting for the Rams in this one. I'll be honest, I love watching them, but I do not see them going into Chicago getting a win against this Bears team.
Rams by a touchdown. I'm the complete opposite of you.
I knew you were going to be.
I'm actually rooting for Chicago. They're my team, although I do have some money on the Rams. I'm rooting for Chicago to win because I love the story and I love how great it's been for the city and the fans. But I think the Rams win this one. The only thing that really worries me is Stafford in these really cold games. It's going to be brutally cold in this one. But I will take the Rams. I mean, it's taken yet another miracle win for the Bears to advance here. And listen, they're like the cardiac Bears, right? Like, this is what they do. They're really just comfortable being down even late in these games, and they find a way to win. But I don't think you'll be able to do it against the Rams. If they play a good, clean first half and take a lead, I think Sean McVay will be able to finish this one with Matt Stafford to get the win. I'll take the Rams 24-17.
All right, AccuWeather. Chicago weather on Sunday night. 3 degrees. Snow probability 55%.
Let's go.
31-mile-an-hour wind. You know what I was thinking this week? And I got to look into it because you could definitely find it. When Buffalo goes to play Denver or the Rams go to play Chicago, do you get there on Monday? Because you know the altitude and the weather are going to screw you up if you show up on Friday night or Saturday. Do you get there Monday and practice at a high school the whole week?
I don't know about the whole week, but maybe you're there middle of the week.
Because if I was Buffalo, I'd be there Tuesday morning. You take the day off Monday after the game. Tuesday morning, we're all on a plane. We're going to Denver.
I probably
get there Thursday.
I probably do my install. I probably do my install Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'd go out there.
Yeah, because the altitude's real.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna see the whole Bills team with an oxygen mask on.
I know,
except for Allen.
Allen's the man. He's so freaking good. He's so good. I hope he does it. I just don't think he'll be able to. I really don't.
I hope he does not do it. If the Bills and Patriots are playing in the AFC Championship game next week, I'm not doing a show.
It's not the Patriots. It's not the Patriots.
Oh, I think it is.
It's not.
I think it's them, not the Bills.
No, it's not. It's not the Patriots.
Oh,
it's the Texans.
You know how giddy I'm going to be Sunday night? I'm going to put your Harbaugh happiness to shame if the Broncos and Texans win. If the Broncos and Texans win Sunday and we're sitting here at 11 o'clock, 9:30, 10:30, whatever it is, previewing that game, Broncos-Texans, I'm going to be pumped. I'm going to be so excited for that championship Sunday.
We're competing with the big guys Sunday night, by the way.
Yeah.
Bill Simmons, Cowherd. We're going right up against them Sunday night with the recap.
Yeah, well, just
right
Bill
after
Simmons.
That game.
Just you could have stopped Bill Simmons.
Okay.
Recap. After Sunday Night Football, we'll be on here to discuss the weekend. Look forward to the championship game. We'll probably have a little bit more coaching news. And if any big baseball news breaks in the next few days, we're going to be on it. So keep a lookout. Thanks for watching today.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. Maybe today. Maybe today. Kyle Tucker. Mike's having a big week this week.
No, I'm not.
All right. Thanks for watching. Mike's having a huge week. Biggest week of his life. And everything's going to happen for him. Everything's going to happen. All positive things. Thanks again for watching. We'll put it on Spotify after this, and you can listen back. Check the description below for the timestamps, and we'll catch you on Sunday night.